People always say that the prison in Iceland is like a 5-star hotel. There is no bar in the prison. They cannot serve alcohol. That's 1 star gone. There are just dudes in there. So that's another star. Now it's a 3-star hotel. All the dudes are criminals. 2-star hotel. And you cannot leave. If you're in a 5-star hotel that you can't leave, that's a prison. And also, I've never gone to a 5-star hotel.
Welcome to Flyby Films once or twice a month using the magic of distance-defying tubes or some stupid shit like that. We get together to discuss films that either have been or will be forgotten. I'm Blake Collier, and sitting next to me in this tiny box is Jamison Barsotti from Chico, California. He is my co-host, but most importantly, my friend. He is a lovely Greek Adonis. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Breakout.
I did not even remember the name of the movie. I was so glad that you were not waiting on me because you definitely paused for a second there.
That's because I had to think about it for a second. Yeah, this is a Charles Bronson film, a little known Charles Bronson film, and an even littler known Robert Duvall film,
and even littler known John Huston film,
and an even tinier Randy Quaid film.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a wild film. So in continuing in our tradition of doing prison films, apparently this season, with the recent passing of Robert Duvall, I thought, well, I wonder if Robert Duvall's ever been in any prison films that are like mildly obscure. And lo and behold, he doesn't have much to do in this movie outside of being an ass. But he's an interesting dude in this one. But yeah, this I saw he was in it, and then I saw, oh shit, this is a Charles Bronson film, so you're in for some cringe.
Dude, Robert Duvall is the worst part. Charles Bronson is not the cringe factor in this.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's never the cringe factor, but his movies are always cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, have you watched Death Wish recently?
I've not watched it recently.
Okay.
I'm sure that is true.
We are going to talk a lot about rape in this episode because they talk about it a lot in the movie. So just be warned, listeners, if that's a thing that
are we putting a trigger? Are we putting a trigger warning?
I'm not trigger warning. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just telling people what's ahead.
It kind of sounds like you're doing. It kind of sounds like you're doing a trigger warning, Blake.
I don't do that kind of politically correct bullcrap. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. There's a lot of use of the word rape, but surprisingly enough, there is no rape in the movie.
There's no rape.
Just a lot of talk of it.
There's one scene that is potentially rape. I don't actually remember how it resolved. I think it just like the camera just pans.
I don't remember that. Oh yeah, Robert Duvall.
Yeah,
being an ass. That's fair.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Actually, no. Technically, legally speaking, when this movie was made, I don't think it was actually unlawful rape.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying. It was within the bounds of marriage. Just pointing it out.
In Mexico, so
that's true. So our rules don't apply in Mexico.
Yeah, we don't know what the rules were in Mexico.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe they were more progressive than us.
Who knows? Yeah. Now that we've driven our listener base away,
Yeah.
how
Well, I
are
was just
you?
trying to get, I was trying to winnow out the people that were not the true fans. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Blake, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing much better this week after last week. Last week was an atrocious work week.
You
So I'm
texted
glad
me
it's
a
over.
couple times telling me that it was
Yeah, I've
I
texted
think
you before.
the direct quote was fuck this week.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Whenever I text you twice about my week, it's extra special.
Yeah.
I think I've texted you about random days, but yeah, I don't think I've ever texted you twice about the same week.
Is there a
Um,
particular reason that you want to go into
oh,
them?
oh yes, yes. I had a deadline that was on Wednesday, and I was trying to get a project out, and I get to the very end of the day, changing my wife's work schedule, in order for me to finish up. I get to the finish line, about 5 yards out. I get a call. Hey, don't sign it yet. Don't sign the project yet. We have a change to the site plan. Blah blah blah. And then I had to say, okay. And then you know what? You know what time I got the deadline out? Friday at 4:30.
Mm.
So I had to deal with that for 3 days.
But you did get it out before the weekend, which means
I
it
got it out
wasn't
before the weekend because they were starting construction on the following Monday.
okay. Well,
What can you do?
you know what?
I'm not going
I'm
to
pr-
tell you what company it was. I'm not going to tell you the civil. I'm not going to tell you any of that. Calm your shit down, people. Anyone from my work listening, I'm not going to give anything away. Don't worry.
You're just gonna say that a deadline was breached and it wasn't your fault.
It was not my fault, but I still had to get. I'm the one who had to deal with it. So
Dude, that sucks.
yeah, yeah. But at least I got a nice weekend where I didn't have to think about it, and I didn't even have the Sunday scaries this last Sunday because of how atrocious the week was. I was like, it can't be any worse.
That was a relief to me because I
Yeah.
had the Sunday scaries of the day Sunday, which is not usually what people mean when they
Mm.
say Sunday scaries. I had an atrocious Sunday,
Oof.
and uh, I actually called you and I said, "Could we reschedule?" And we're
Yeah.
doing it on a Tuesday now because of this. So,
Yes. Yep.
um, yeah,
Would you like to enlighten us on what happened that day?
my son, who I love very much, was being a very difficult child all weekend. And to the point where both my wife and I were just taking turns going, can I go out of the house for a half an hour? And we would leave, and then we would come back and be like, is it better? No, it's not better. Can I go out? And we would just take turns. And what we did was we got to the end of the day, and that was when I was planning to record with you, but I was like, look, my wife and I are just going to have like a debrief. Like, we're going
Yep.
to need to figure out what's next in survival. And so what we did was he eventually, he did go to bed, and the day of dealing with him was over, and I made some dinner, and we like lit a candle and had like a nice candlelit dinner together, and that was like a way to end a terrible Sunday, which was good. So uh,
Beautiful.
yeah, so it was still rough a little bit for a bit of the evening because he was coming out, and he was having needs and things like that, which kids do.
Kids
I
in need.
also I also don't want to pretend that this is like anything above normal. Like, children
Are you
issues.
are you saying that this is the Terrible Twos?
I don't know. You know what? I know I'm ragging on him, but he used to
I
call
will
them the.
say
He used to
the
call.
Terrible Threes are way worse.
Yeah, well, he's in the Terrible Threes. He's 3.
Oh shit!
Um, he used to call them. He used to call them the Terrible Toots.
Terrible Toots.
And then he would say whenever he farts, "I had a terrible toot." So it was cute. So.
That's funny.
But he's actually having a much better week.
Well, it's probably because he got all the shittiness out during the weekend.
Yeah, he got it all out. And we've been having some good wins with like potty training. I know he's late in the game on that because he just hates the idea of a toilet, but we've just been ripping off his pants and being like, "Okay, you have to run around naked and don't poop in the room." So
Okay.
that's how we're dealing with it.
Honestly, that's probably what we're gonna have to do with Owen.
You know, I was like a case of like, my mom likes to say like I was just like a do it myself person where I waited long and then I was like, I don't want to use a diaper anymore, and then we were good to go. Hazel's probably lasting a little bit longer than I did, but like that's what we're doing with him, and it's working because he also doesn't like to make messes. So yeah.
Yeah, use those weaknesses against him.
And he gets chocolate chips whenever he takes a shit. So
I mean, same color, right?
yeah, well, yeah. The tricky part is he wants to carry, so he poops in this little his size toilet, and he likes to carry it to the toilet so he can flush and get the joy out of that. But like every time he carries it, I'm like, eventually he's gonna fling it just all over the place because he's gonna trip or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
So shitty kids. Okay, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that in the fact that they're just shitting themselves.
Yeah, they have a lot of shit.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this is normal kid stuff, but you know how it like ranges, and it just happened to be at the end of the reasonable range, and it was just constant. So yeah.
I don't know if I told you, but I got a new ride today.
Ooh, oh, yes. Please tell me about how you got the new ride, because I know that there's a story behind this.
I got the new ride the best way to get a new ride, which is to rent one whenever your actual ride gets rear-ended. Yeah, those are the days. Yeah, my nice 2024 Honda CRV, which our kids, our oldest Seamus has nicknamed Connie. Don't ask me why.
Okay.
Our other car, the Subaru, is named 676, also his name. So
I love how cyberpunk this is, where you just have like a normal name and then just one that
just
is
one
like a
off
data
the fucking wall.
Just a data entry. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, got rear-ended, and that was probably 2-3 weeks ago, which is about right if you think about handling insurance and all that stuff. Getting the estimates, finding a place to get it done. Well, I brought the car in this morning to finally get it worked on, and thankfully the insurance I was doing it through found a car rental place that was literally right next door. And so I just walked over, got my car, switched out the car seats, all that good stuff, and rode out. I have a nice little Nissan Sentra. It was like old home week because that was my car before the Honda. Except this one's blingy. This is bougie as fuck.
Oh,
I
does it
mean,
have like
light up dash,
just all of the bells and whistles?
sweet ass like hubcaps, like one of those like long ass like screens that shows your speed and your Apple Play and all that crap.
Yeah.
It's like all seamless and
Can you play video
like
games while you're driving?
no, well, probably I can if
Yeah.
I tried. I'm more terrified. I got the damage waiver because I'm more terrified my kids are gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
More than I am getting rear-ended again in a rental car. But yeah, so I've got a
Are
sweet
they
ass ride for 2
are,
weeks probably.
are they paying for the damage waiver?
No, that's
I
something
feel
I have
like
to pay for.
I feel like they should if they wreck a family car. Like this should
Oh
be codified in law, which is like if you're if the insurance has to replace a family car,
yeah,
then they have to incur all of the like
the
uh,
damages.
the damages that a family could wreak on a rental car.
All we
Because that,
got,
yeah,
was a discount. We got a discount on the damage waiver per day. But that's about it. And the only reason I got it is because I'm gonna have to take it to Amarillo this weekend for a long weekend.
Yeah,
And so I was like, I haven't had too great a luck in the last few months of not getting some kind of damage on a car. Not of my fault, but just like rocks and shit hitting windshields and vent
yeah,
windows and all sorts of stuff. So I was like,
yeah,
it's worth the 200 or whatever it was to just knock this out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as someone who works in the insurance industry, you're buying peace of mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
So will I let it extend for the full time that the car is in the shop? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
so sweet ass ride. Got that for at least a week and a half, if not longer. So
yeah. I like how you turned getting hit in the ass to a sweet ass ride. So, yeah, you
we're all
turn
about
those
asses today.
you turn those tables. Are you feeling okay? You had told me that you kind of like felt some shoulder pain because of this.
Yeah, it still bugs me a little bit, but I haven't had too many issues with it.
Okay.
Um,
Were you the only one in the car during the?
yes, yes.
Okay.
But car seats were in the car,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we may have to get some new ones. They don't replace them. Now my insurance replaces them. If I'd gone through my insurance, I would have gotten them replaced, but I wouldn't have gotten a rental car.
Yeah.
And I would have had a increased
Can you?
premium.
Yeah. Can you go through your insurance to get them replaced?
That's a good question. Maybe I'll ask.
Because I know you're not supposed to claim for the same thing, but that's a separate part of it. So
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Maybe I'll ask that. Be like, hey, car seats were injured. This is not the same thing. But they were in a wreck.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I know.
I mean, admittedly, I think they're fine.
Yeah.
Because it was minimal. Like, as far as wrecks go, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't know what the laws are in Oklahoma as far as that stuff. I know there's some sort of like damage amount that we have to have in California. So, but whatever. I was wondering about anyone else in the car because I remember I got sideswiped a while back and Kira was in the car and it was like terrifying for her, even though she wasn't the one driving. But yeah.
Did you get sideswiped on her side or your side?
I'm trying to remember what side it was. I think it was actually on her side. So
Okay, that would be terrifying. Yeah.
yeah. But it was just someone merging into us. So
Mm.
that they just,
Now, I think I had to have told you this, but like 2 or 3 weeks into Owen being born, Seamus was with my in-laws,
yeah,
and he got into a bad wreck.
yeah.
Like the
I
whole
remember
rear,
this.
like got rear-ended, but it was like the whole trunk was like shoved up into the back seat. He was fine, but his
Still,
car seat was not usable.
also just terrifying as
Oh yeah, yeah.
everything. I'm sure, like when you got that call, like
Well, and it was so
just
funny because at first we weren't super concerned about it because it, rear ending, like, okay, yeah, it's still a wreck and it's kind of scary on some level, but it wasn't until like we got the photo of the wreck and we were like, fuck,
yeah,
okay, this is a thing. So, I mean, we had
yeah.
to take him to the ER along with his grandparents to get them checked out, make sure everything was okay. I mean, my father-in-law took the brunt of it and had like broke his nose and various
Cool.
other things. So,
And this
um,
is the same father-in-law that fell out of
yes,
treaty
yeah.
recently. Yeah.
Who can't feel his feet? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's having a great couple of years.
Oh yeah. Just awesome. He's got
Yeah.
neuropathy. So
Cool.
God bless him.
Um. Oh, Blake.
Yeah.
Any positives? How's Lent going?
Positives. It's great. We gave up television and we only watch
Good.
television on Sundays. And we've actually noticed a pretty significant change in at least Seamus. So I feel like he's been a lot more regulated and whatnot. So I think we're gonna stick with it.
Hmm.
Not like in the form it's in during Lent, but I think
Yeah.
we're going to be a lot more strict about TV watching
Yeah.
after this. So yeah. How about you? What's been positive in your world?
We're not doing Lent. What's been positive? Um. Oh, I think I have told you, but I haven't told the podcast world. I'm doing a bracket for
Oh yes.
with some friends. We're doing a bracket that is the greatest song in our lifetimes, and the rules for the bracket were it was four doofuses getting together, and the rules were we were all going to submit 5 songs from our lifetime, so they have to have been released after we were born, that we think are some of the greatest songs. And then we would all rank them and score them based on those rankings. That would provide the seeds, and then we would, the ones that come up in the top 16 out of that would survive, and they would all be seeded, and then we paired them together and just went like
Mm-hmm.
a match a day. And tomorrow is going to be the finals, so we have the final matchup.
The
So
final matchup, like even beyond the one you showed me earlier today.
no, that was the semifinal.
Oh,
Remember, I told
that's
you
the
that
semifinal.
that
Gotcha.
whoever won that one is
But we
going.
know who won that one.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Who
Now,
won?
Sufjan Stevens,
Yeah,
Casimir
I figured.
Pulaski Day. So
Okay, so that's going up against Seven
seven
Nation Army.
Seven Nation Army by the White
If
Stripes.
Seven Nation Army does not win, this whole thing is rigged. But
Dude,
it's already rigged anyways because you forgot Outcast.
I forgot Hey Ya, which when I realized I had forgotten Hey Ya, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew like I was, because this is a bit where we don't spend we don't have like any sort of monetary value on this. We don't have anything writing on it. It's just the whim of our desires to be dinguses that create this. So I probably didn't put, it's effortless, as we like to say on this podcast.
Effervescently effortless.
So I knew that I was going to realize I missed something. But when I realized I missed Hey Ya or like Miss Jackson or anything,
So fresh, so clean.
Yeah, from Outkast, my heart sank.
And you became haunted by Andre 3000.
Yeah, he keeps playing his damn flute in my ear, just like, as a reminder.
Speaking of flute by Andre 3000, did you listen to the second album?
No, I didn't even. I know I listened to some of the first album.
I recommend the second album. It is way better than the first one.
Than Pale Blue Dot
It is
or whatever
more contained. It is not overly long.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way better. I mean, it's not something I want to listen to a lot, but it's not bad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. I had always wanted to even like sit down and try to experience the full, whatever, but I just never got around to it. And
I remember when it came out, I listened to the whole thing, and afterwards I came out because I was working remotely that day, and I came out and my wife was working also. I said, I just finished that new Andre 3000 flute album that I told you about earlier. And I was like, yeah, it was an experience. I'll never listen to it again.
that is an experience. It's interesting because there are albums that I would call experiences and very strange and different than the artist who makes them that I do go back to and I like and I enjoy. And I don't know if I can tell you the formula for that. Like these are usually things that like I put it on at a certain time and place and it hooks me somehow, and then I go on during something and then I start thinking about that experience and those feelings and I want to go back to it. The thing that I can think of is like the album that keeps coming up is the Neil Young Dead Man album.
Yep.
Where
which we talked about.
Yeah, we've already talked about this when we covered Dead Man, but like that album, nothing like Neil Young's music. I mean, I'm sure you can find like pieces of it, but it's tied to just like chilling out and to being in a different state of mind. And it's not necessarily something that you put on and you're like, automatically vibing with. You have to like get in kind of an entranced space. And I'm sure someone had that experience with Andre 3000's flute album, but
my issue is less with him like branching out and trying something different. It's more that I don't really like flutes. Like I can only think of one piece of music that I actually liked flutes in, and that's Flute Loop by Beastie Boys. But that's just a loop of a flute from another piece of music. So it's like it's not even like it's like 2 minutes long and it's over, and you're like, that was nice.
There feel like flutes were really prominent on one of the Sunlux albums.
Yeah. So if flutes are part of a bigger thing, I have no issue. Like, I'm fine with that. So yeah, Sunlux has a lot of instrumentation, at least in his early work. I kind of lost touch with his later stuff. But
yeah,
his early stuff, yeah, there was definitely some flutes on there.
yeah.
Now you give me a sax, I listen to sax all day. I got no issues with sax or piano. Two of my favorite instruments.
You love some gratuitous sax.
Oh man, I just love like listening and watching people play it. Gratuitous sax, that is.
Are you sexual?
I am.
Sexual being.
I'm a sexual. I look every day for sexual healing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I made you a promise.
You did make me a promise. I made you a promise in return because you're like, yep. When I said that we need to keep it to an hour, you're like, yep.
Yeah. I said we can do that. And I pushed you to this time. I pushed you to this day. And then I pushed you to this time.
Well, technically, you didn't push me to this day. You pushed me to not Sunday. And then I said, actually, well, let's do Monday. Actually, let's do Tuesday. That'd be easier.
Yeah, I said Monday. And then you were like, is Tuesday easier? And I, without even thinking, was like, yeah, let's plan on that. And then I found out that Kira was going to be gone on Tuesday night, which is tonight. And so I am, fingers crossed, this whole time watching the monitor of my son.
Oh, shit.
He's not asleep yet, but like, he's been so good this whole time. We've gotten so lucky that I was able to start on time, even at the late time that I told you, and that he hasn't busted out and completely ruined this. But I'm not pushing my luck, so we're staying on schedule.
We got to stay on schedule. So, Breakout. Okay, so what is your experience with Charles Bronson up to this point?
Charles Bronson he was a meme before memes. I really only know him through Death Wish and being kind of like a Death Wish guy. I'm pretty sure he's like lampooned by the Animaniacs at some point. Like,
probably
he's that larger than life actor that you didn't need to watch what he did to know that he was this very specific type. And that was my experience, was like, okay, I watched Death Wish on the USA Network probably, and that
you didn't actually see the full like gratuitous Death Wish.
Yeah, I probably didn't even see the full gratuitous Death Wish, which yeah.
It's an experience.
Well, and there's like 7 of them, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen any of the others. I've only seen the first one, and from what I've heard, that's really all I need to see.
Need is doing a lot of work in that.
Yeah, well, fair. I knew of him largely because of his early days of doing westerns, like Magnificent Seven, and I think he was in How the West Was Won. A few movies like that. He played kind of a similar character in all of the westerns he did. That's how I got my introduction to him. It wasn't until I was older that I realized that he extended his career into the 70s with some very cringe, noir adjacent work. I guess you could call it, vaguely. I don't know what else you would call Death Wish.
I mean, I kind of.
It was like Taken before Taken.
But it's so much pulpier than Taken.
Yes, it's way darker. Way darker. And way more gratuitous. So when I saw this was a Charles Bronson movie, I was like, oh, well, we could be in for a lot of things. But then I read something. I was like, oh, they were saying that Charles Bronson was actually allowed to be funny in this one. I was like, I've never seen Charles Bronson be funny. This should be fun. And he kind of was. He was a pretty likable chap.
He's the brightest spot in this movie. Does that
Him and
mean?
Randy Quaid, honestly.
Well, yeah. Does that mean that the movie makes sense?
No, not at all.
No. It's weird because he plays kind of like a Crocodile Dundee type character, where he's clearly kind of like an expert in his zone, and
But he has no manners. He's roughshod. He's like,
and he's earned it. He's earned
Yeah.
that way of being, because
Mhm.
if you want to challenge him to knowing what a plan is and flying a plane, you're
Yep.
you're out of your depth, and so you need him, and that's that's part of one of the plot points, but it's such a strange movie, because that works if the movie is going to be about this character, but he's like a side character
Yeah.
in a more overarching prison story,
And
which
yet,
is
really the problem is there's no actual main character in this movie.
there's
It feels
no-
like everyone is a side character.
I have a question before we get too
Mhm.
serious about the movie.
Okay.
How old was Robert Duvall when this came out? So
Oh, I have no idea, but he looked about 45.
I was gonna ask, do you think he was born with his hairline halfway up his head?
Yes.
Because well,
Yeah.
he was born that
No.
way, and then I think that
No, he was born that way. Like he was born with that exact haircut. When he came out of his mom's womb, he was like he had it slicked back, and it was that hairline. He was like, "Cameras, I'm ready,"
yeah,
and that's when he started acting.
he was. uh, All due respect, because he did just die. All due respect to Robert Duvall. He's a great actor. He's had some great movies. This
This is
not one
not
of
one of
them.
them.
He was
He was
he
kind of
was
skeezy.
he was skeezy, and he was mopey the whole time. Like he
Well,
was
that
just
and yet
not.
he was still supposedly the guy that they were saving. Like he's supposedly like the guy that needs to be the good guy because he's falsely accused of doing something. He gets sent to a Mexican prison,
To be
and his
fair,
wife is trying to get him out.
he was. So he is. He's in a terrible situation, and there's maybe a movie about being falsely accused and imprisoned in Mexico that
And
they
becoming a
thought
horrible person.
they were trying to make.
Yeah.
And there's like the depth of it or whatever. Not this movie. It doesn't. The whole like falsely accused, falsely imprisoned like happens real instantaneously, and we don't spend enough time with him because we want to spend time with Randy
Charles
Quaid
Bronson.
and Charles
Yeah.
Bronson. Did you catch any of the reason why this was happening? Because So John Huston, famous director John Huston, is in this
I
movie.
have no idea why he was trying to frame his grandson. I have no idea. There's no explanation.
But the CIA was involved, right?
Yeah, well, apparently.
Okay, that's somehow.
I mean, there was a guy who was there at the beginning of the movie and then randomly appears at the end of the movie who is dressed like a CIA accountant and gets chopped.
So I think you're referring to the best part of the
best
movie.
scene in the movie.
Yes. The best scene in the movie,
because it is visceral.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it's pretty crazy that they kept the camera rolling, and that was their choice.
And that they pulled it off, because it actually looks pretty realistic.
It happens pretty quick. But yeah, so the best shot, best scene of the movie is when the CIA guy shows up again. And okay, let me give you a little bit of background. The movie's about this falsely imprisoned guy, Robert Duvall. He's imprisoned in Mexico. His wife hires Charles Bronson to break him out, thus the name. And this was before borders were closed, and you could just fly
Before,
over
borders. I don't know, like borders in general.
Sure, you could just fly over the Mexican border and pick up a prisoner and then come back.
Yeah.
So they do that. There's
no airspace violations, nothing like that.
Yeah, there's some back and forth, but they're able to pull that off. They bring him back. The CIA guy figures out that he's back, and he goes to chase him, and he gets in a fight with Charles Bronson, and they're on a runway, and they don't get out of the way in time. Charles Bronson does, but the CIA guy just gets chopped by
the propeller.
And the camera just shows, the plane coming view of all of it, and it just is a spray of flesh and
just body parts
blood
going out everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's impressive. Whoever did the special effects was on their A game.
You know what? And I feel like this is a very unique thing to the 70s, and probably the reason why the Death Wish movies exist, which is stuff like that was not relegated to horror films. This could be in goofy comedies.
Yep.
And it's not that we don't have some of that now, but it's rarely a practical effect these days.
No.
I mean, it's not ever. And
maybe indie films, maybe, but even then, it's less and less.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of like we don't want to change the tone. There's this supposed respect for tone that I think holds people back. So
I don't know. I for one am a big fan of tone deaf movies.
Maybe.
I mean, practical effects all the way, man. Give me the viscera. I want to feel it in my bones.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really understand this movie in general. I found myself really, I know there were parts of it that I was supposed to find, laughable, but I didn't really find them all that funny, like him learning how to fly a helicopter. I think that was played for laughs, and yet nothing about it was funny.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a random plot point to put in there. Oh, he has to overcome his inability to fly a helicopter. Great. I mean, what?
Well, and that was weirdly stressful too, because he just kept
just flying around.
They kept letting him fly these helicopters, and he couldn't, and he didn't know how. But and they kept just taking advantage of the young helicopter guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah. And then there's that weird, will they, won't they love story between Charles Bronson and the wife. And you're they kind of fall for each other, but they leave.
Yeah.
They don't do anything. And at the end, there's this weird, if I was Robert Duvall, I'd be what the fuck happened here?
Yeah. Well, I think it's Robert Duvall. You turned into a jackass while you were in prison, and no one likes you anymore.
What's the over-under on her leaving him and going to Charles Bronson after a couple more months?
I think Charles Bronson doesn't actually want that lady. I think he just wants money and to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I didn't get that either. It felt like they were trying to make Charles Bronson much more James Bondy that his age at that point would like allow, because they were definitely trying to up his sex appeal. And speaking of the scene that you alluded to, so Charles Bronson also, part of his like breakout plan is to hire a cast of misfits for various roles, including including like acting
fake rape.
roles,
fake rape,
and fake rape.
Yeah,
I don't. So there's a lot of like pieces of this that don't really make sense and don't really pay off either, as far as like when did this person really need to be there? Why was this necessary? And so there's one. So we talked about Randy Quaid. So Randy Quaid is actually Charles Bronson's assistant, Hawk. And if you didn't know that going into it, you won't realize it until the credits. Because Randy Quaid,
he looks nothing like it. He's skinny.
He's skinny. And he looks a little off, but he does not look Randy Quaid off. No. Which, you know, if you've seen Christmas Vacation, you know what Randy Quaid off is. Like, he built his career.
Day.
Yeah. No, I was looking up Randy Quaid movies, and I was like, oh man, this guy has been in a lot of like well-known big films. Yeah, like I guess he was in Brokeback Mountain too.
Oh, I did not know that. I've never actually seen that movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I'm just but yeah, Independence Day, Brokeback Mountain, like not just the vacation movies, which I think he gets kind of pigeonholed for that, but like, yeah. Anyway, so he, there's a scene where he dresses up as a lady to try to like, I don't know. I don't really.
That scene was actually kind of funny.
That scene was funny, except he gets found and then he gets beaten to a pulp.
Oh yeah, he gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, like it becomes a not a funny scene and then a not funny scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
and yet he comes back for more. After getting the shit kicked out of him.
But one of the other people that Charles Bronson knows is
this is your favorite character in this movie, I think.
No, it's there's the sheriff and
his wife.
The sheriff has a wife, and apparently the wife has a thing for Charles Bronson too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's a weird. I mean, they already have a weird like.
They really are made for each other. They both just want money and a good time.
Yeah. So Charles Bronson convinces the sheriff and his wife to lend out the wife to dress up like a whore, a Mexican whore.
A Mexican whore, which she can't pull off the Mexican part. But...
No, not at all. But you know, it's like the night before the plan, and they're in Mexico, and they're like sharing a room, and I can't even like say these lines, but she basically like starts asking explicitly to be like raped by Charles Bronson, and he just goes like, I don't want to do that. You're too washed up and drunk and blah blah blah. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
what is her final words when he leaves? She's like something like,
I couldn't hear over the cringe.
"Here over the cringe." Oh man, it was priceless. But I don't want to say it if I can't get it right. So, but it had to do with rape. It was real choice use of the word rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There were a lot of choices in this movie that were not well thought out, which makes sense that this is as obscure as it is.
Yeah.
Like if I was Robert Duvall, I would have tried to like bury this film. Um,
Well,
well, hell, if I was Randy Quaid, I would probably try to bury this film too. But
I mean, I think the strangest one is John Huston
yeah,
being in this movie. This is like maybe not quite to this level, but it's like Orson Welles showing up in this role.
yeah,
And it's like, what are you doing, Orson Welles? What are
yeah.
you doing, John Huston?
Which friend did you owe a favor to?
I mean, it could have been Charles Bronson, honestly.
That's fair.
So,
I mean, I would imagine Charles Bronson was in a John Huston film.
I
I could see that.
that's what I'm wondering. So,
Yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm not going to type in that into the computer right now in the middle of podcasting, I'm going to look it up later and we'll report back.
I'm gonna do that.
It'll be a
Maybe.
cliffhanger.
No.
Yeah, I really wanted to like this movie more than I did. I mean, you know, I've got a soft spot for Charles Bronson. I grew up with him.
Mhm.
Like, I like his general kind of tude. And generally speaking, he's the most likable person in this movie. But that's not saying a whole lot because the movie is kind of a shit show. Not much going on. The plot points are so vaguely tied together that it like they kind of make a story, but it's so loose and so underthought and undercooked that even the execution outside of the one great scene is just it kind of falls apart. And you kind of tell it's going to pretty early in the film.
Mhm.
Once you get past once you meet Bronson and kind of get into the main part of the story, you're like, oh yeah, this is not gonna end well. Yeah, yeah. I was not ultimately pleased with this pick. So far, I think you've been picking some real great ones, and I've been picking some real shit ones.
You know what? I don't want to say that. I wouldn't say I was disappointed in this movie. I just wouldn't say this is a good movie. I think
Oh, I think I'm
I think
disappointed in this movie. I expect more from Charles Bronson.
and Robert Duvall. I think we keep forgetting that Robert Duvall is in this.
Well, he's yeah. I mean, this
I
had to
think
have been one of
Robert
his
Duvall.
earliest films, right?
Yeah, Robert Duvall forgot that he was in this too. So
Yeah, definitely towards the end of his life. That was a slight knock at Robert Duvall.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. This was not great, and there's not even anything like thematically interesting about it.
yeah. I mean, it just seemed like kind of a goof fest, you know,
It's
but
like
too
they needed something to
serious.
fill up another theater screen for a Friday, you know, on a Friday night, and so they're like, fuck it, might as well make this movie and put it out there. Someone
That
will go see it.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I feel a little bad because maybe you gotta wonder, was it someone's dream to make this movie? Oh, you know what?
What's that?
The director was Tom Grease. And we're familiar with one of his sons.
Oh, is it John Grease?
It's John Grease.
Oh, shit.
Uncle
I did not know
Rico.
that.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico. Gah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So there's
almost revamps my opinion of the movie.
it doesn't change my opinion of the movie.
I thought, well, you could look at it this way. Maybe John Grease chose to play Uncle Rico because it was exactly like his father,
Maybe.
who made movies like this and talked about rape a lot.
This seems
Just
like
saying.
this does seem like an Uncle Rico movie. So
I mean, you're telling me.
yeah.
It's like
Well,
this movie is like metaphorically Uncle Rico thinking he can throw a steak over a mountain.
I feel like Charles Bronson is the type of person that Uncle Rico wants to be in this movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And yet has no chance of ever being.
No.
Because he doesn't exude Bronson like Charles Bronson does.
I don't think anybody exudes Bronson.
You're
except
right,
Charles
because
Bronson.
there's only one. There's only one Charles Bronson.
Well, and he's dead now, so
He is a real dead boy, that's for sure. He doesn't exude much anymore.
no.
Outside of worms.
He exuded.
Yeah. he exuded his last.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Breakout.
I'm looking forward to our next prison movie.
Yeah. We got a guest.
We have a guest.
And we have a guest.
And it is a good movie. It is a stone cold classic.
Stone cold classic. You heard it here, folks.
Which doesn't fit with our whole vibe of this year. But you know what? We've been good boys for 7 weeks straight. We can take a week off from our strict forgotten
I feel
movies.
like we did really good last year.
Yeah. You know what?
Outside of having guests on.
This is going to be a treat. I'm excited to not have to watch another terrible forgotten movie.
Oh, wait. Is our shtick breaking down?
No, it's not. It's not breaking down. Yeah.
No, but this really is a classic.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the great all-time movies.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a great guest. And so, yeah, it will be a nice little reprieve from this week's shit show fest. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this.
You got nothing more?
I got nothing.
Well, let's break out of this podcast and get to bed.
I'm gonna go get chopped.
Goodbye.
Bye.